Naila, why is English language important to learn?
This is because English language is an international language and is widely followed and understood by people across the world.
I want to learn this language.
To learn every language, there are some skills to develop. Follow this class to learn these skills.
Viewers, we welcome you once again on MT Africa, our program English Language for Junior High School. We have lesson 8 for the day. Sit, get settled, and let's continue with the lesson. Class, you are also welcome for the lesson. We are going to have our continuation of the topic we've been talking about, past tense. Today we are going to be looking at the past continuous or the past progressive. The objective of our lesson for the day would be 1. To identify the verb form used in the past progressive. 2. To be able to also identify the past progressive when it is used in a text. We should be able to identify that. And then we shall also be interested in identifying the past progressive in terms of its usage. Then look at the past progressive in terms of the verb formation, the verb that we need to form. We have the verb in the ED form. The VIN ED form of our verb, was or were. This is what we always need to rely upon. Plus our verb in the VIN ING form, as we have it in going, looking, coming, singing, etc. When we have the combination of these two verbs, then we are going to have what is known as the past progressive or past continuous. Do you understand? Good. Before we display what we have here as examples, let me have you mention some of the examples for me. Just combine the past form of our verb and the progressive form of a verb. Any other verb you have? Yes? Salma?
I was going to check if the teacher was in the classroom.
Oh, just give me the verb form. Just give me the tense, not necessarily in a sentence.
Was going.
Good. So we have like, was going. Good. Orchard.
We're playing.
Good. Yes, Josefa.
Was dancing.
Hofera. Come again.
We're looking.
And then Nazir.
We're talking.
Good. So all these are in the past progressive. This is past and this is the progressive. So we say past progressive, all these. Good. And then as we have been saying, was is for singular subject and were for plural what? Subject. Good. So as we have was going, were eating, was asking, were playing. We put them in sentences like this. Precious was asking you about the promised date. So we have here was asking. That is past progressive. Past progressive. It shouldn't be difficult at all to identify. You just need to know the form of the verb. The first is past and the second is progressive, so past progressive. We have a word there that ends in ed, promised. I want to find out whether it's also a past, is it a verb first of all? Is it used as a verb? Promised, is it used as a verb? How? Someone is saying yes. How? How? You see, one clue you should know that we shall study is that we can have they, and immediately after they, we have promised. They is an article, a determiner, right? So that's one clue you should know. Anytime you have an article or a determiner, and just after that, you can only have a noun following it. When we talk of articles or determiners, which I'm sure you have an idea of, example like there, this, depending on how it is used, even the instances pronouns are used as determiners. Let's say, example, his book. And then when we ask what book, his book, his here is a determiner. But we'll come there. But what I'm saying is that anytime you have, for example, a determiner, anytime you have a determiner and just after a determiner there's a word, have it at the back of your mind that that word is most likely to be a noun and not a verb. Do you understand me? So that's the easiest, though we shall study determiners and we'll look at that in details. But have it at the back of your mind anytime you have a determiner or any of the articles in the English language. When we talk of the articles, we have the, a, and what? Yes, Josefa? No? An. These are the articles we have. We say this is a definite article at your level. We say these two are indefinite. Do you remember? Do you remember?
Yes, sir.
If you don't say yes when you have forgotten what you've learned in previous classes. You are supposed to learn these from the upper primary. So if you have forgotten, go and revise. It's very good. There is a definite article, but these two, a and an, are indefinite articles. But when we're also talking about determiners, we talk about them. Good. So over there we have the article there, or a determiner there. And what we are saying that as a clue, anytime you see an article, any of these articles, there, a or an, or a determiner before a word, that word is certainly a noun. So for that reason, they promised. Promise here cannot be a verb, but a noun. Right? But here, it is used as an adjective, not a noun. It is used as what? An adjective. This is actually the noun, date. A date is like taking someone out to have either food or an entertainment. Right? Good. So, the article or the determiner there and the adjective telling us more about date. Which date? The promised date. So we are saying that Precious was asking you about the promised date. I brought this for you to have an idea about some of these so that not any time at all you see a word ending in ed automatically becomes a verb. Do you follow? Yes. Good. Now let's have another example. The workers were having misunderstanding about something. So here, our tense is here. Past were, and then progressive having. So past progressive. Here too, we have a word ending in ing. That ing is never a verb. I mentioned that some other time. So take note of that. We also have words that ends in ing. Such words you should always be careful. Not every word ending in ing is a verb. We have words like that ends in ing but are never verbs, but nouns. Good. So we are saying workers were having. Misunderstanding here is not a verb. Do you understand me? Yes. Good. But we shall explore more about that later on. About some of these things. We have about and then it there. So our concentration now is here. I'm just highlighting for you not to get confused because we have ing word here following another ing word. You don't conclude that this one is also progressive. Right? Good. And then we say she was trying to lord over others without due respect. The verb is here, was trying. Was, past, trying, progressive. So past, progressive. Good. That is where our verb is. Good. If you have any question, ask, please. Okay. If no question, then my assignment to you is try to write 3 sentences each in the past progressive for me. Three sentences. Underline your tenses. It's very important. Yes, Josefa, are you done? Okay, what she has here is he is eating the food which was cooked by the old woman. So we have is. You read the rest for me. So is what? Eating, right?
Yes, sir.
Good. And then it continues. So this our, what is this? Yes, this verb, in which form is it?
It's in the present tense.
Good. So this is present. And this is?
Progressive.
So the question I ask is, are you right? So you have present, progressive. What are we supposed to do?
Sir, please.
Yeah, that's where I read. Is that not what you did?
No.
Well, just then read the sentence to me. Read what you did. Yes?
Nina was telling me about her life story.
Okay, was telling. Good. So this is
Past.
past. And this?
Progressive.
Good. The next one?
She was looking for her new shoes.
Was looking. Good. So we have past, progressive. Next?
They were singing when I arrived.
So we have were singing, right?
Yes.
Good. Past, progressive. That is good. Here is the next person.
She was working on the assignment.
Come again, please.
She was working on the assignment.
Okay, you have was working, right?
Yes, please.
Good. So you have past, progressive. That's good.
Pearl was dancing on the arena.
That was dancing. Good. So past, progressive. Good.
The workers were complaining about their salaries.
So your progressive, past progressive.
Were complaining.
Good. Past progressive. Yes, Nazir?
The students were asking their teacher about the books.
The
Students were asking
okay. Do you say where or was?
where.
Good. Were asking. Good. So past progressive. Next.
The boy was having some difficulties about the lesson treated earlier.
Oh, okay. So was
Having.
good. So here, I like that. You see the have, the verb have can take ing form here. Good. Then your last one.
They were going to the sports stadium.
We're going. Good. You're also right in your examples. Salma, let's have yours.
Sarah was asking me of her money.
So you have was asking. Good. So past progressive.
I was going to take my breakfast after the lesson.
So was going. Good.
They were
Stop there. Let's write the full sentence. There's something interesting there I want to point out to you. Your sentence is this. I was going, right?
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
To take my breakfast.
So let's end here. Good. This is singular, right?
Yes, sir.
This is also singular. But there's one peculiar thing about the pronoun I and you when it comes to verbs. And what is it? There's something about the pronoun I and you when it comes to verb. We say that anytime our subject is singular, the verb should be what? Singular. Anytime our subject is plural, the verb should be what? Plural. Good. But there are instances where these two, I and you, do not follow that simple rule. And what is that peculiar thing? When you use I, what verb do you mostly use? Do you use singular or plural verb?
Singular.
Are you sure? Is it right for me to say, I has a book? But that's what you are just saying. Has here is what?
Singular.
This is what?
Singular.
But is it correct?
No.
We rather say what? Have, which is plural. But rather when it comes to the past, we are using the singular past. Do you follow?
Yes, sir.
We are not using the plural past. Why? Why? Because you need to know this so that when you are constructing sentences, you have that understanding. The reason is that we say this. I am. No problem. I am. This is what we say. This is singular. Is same as he is, singular. Do you follow? Take note. The reason we keep was here, but we don't go for the plural. Like we can't say I has. You can't say I comes. This is wrong. This is also wrong. But we say I have, plural. I come, plural verb. Do you follow? Yes, sir. But when it comes to the past, in this form, I don't want to, but you have heard of auxiliary, helping verb, right? At your level, auxiliary verbs, yes. Helping verb. Yes. Good. We shall look at that and I'll explain to you. The reason is that we use am, is. We don't say I is, we say I am. The two are singular. Do you follow? Good. And the past of the two, the past form of am and is what? Was. So am is the same as the verb is. To make it simple, it's just like one person having two names. But in one instance, for example, some of us have names that parents call us at home, which is different from the names in school we use. In school, you don't use that name, but the name is still for you. Do you follow that? Good. Am is dedicated for the pronoun I. So anytime you see am, whether there's I or not, there's an implication that the pronoun I is there. The first person, singular, is there. We shall come to pronouns. Is and am are singular. We don't use is in this case. We don't say I is. No. So the reason for which was is used there, but not in this form. The previous one we say you cannot say I come, I have. Sorry, I has, I comes. You can't say I comes, I has. Do you follow me? Good. But when it comes to these ones, that's how it works. So we say was because of we say am here. Good. Yes, who is left? Yes. Read yours. Let's look at.
She was sweeping the compound.
She was
sweeping the compound.
Okay, so was sweeping. Good.
They were reading the storybooks.
So were reading. Good. Okay, so past progressive. Good. We'll summarize our lesson here. And then what I want you to know, I had given you an assignment on this. It's very important for us to know whether we follow the lesson and we understand what is happening. In that assignment, the assignment we have on board, on that assignment we're supposed to identify the form of verb that we have for the present perfect continuous, simple present, present perfect, and the present progressive. Just a form of verb. You are supposed to do this as an assignment, and I hope you have done that. You show me one each. You do that of the present perfect continuous. You do that of simple present, that is Hofeda. Just write the verb form. That's what I just want. Just the verbs. That's all. And then in that order, one after the other. Good. Just the verb form. Okay, viewers at home, we also expect you to take part in the lesson. Our next lesson shall be on the past perfect and that of the past perfect progressive. There is a need for us to revise all that has been learned so far so that we keep to remember everything. If not, when we keep building up, we would have forgotten and it will become a challenge for us to follow up. Keep revising your notes, and as I said the other time, there's a need for us to always practice what we learn. Don't read them and put them down. When you read, try to practice them in your writing and in your speech. Until we meet once again, we say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.